So at the same time, it's also just, it's not just you.
Right.
Like, it's not your fault if you have imposter syndrome. And I wish people knew that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we play a role and a factor, but it's not our fault, especially in the United States. Like, come on now.
Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have low self-esteem or low
Right.
confidence
Exactly.
either. Like, it has nothing to do with that per se.
No.
It's more just to do with, I don't know, the messaging that you've heard. Because I
Sure.
know for me, like growing up, it was, you played a sport. If you
Mhm.
missed, you lost a point.
Yeah.
So any kind of like error, you were looking for errors before you missed. And so now I just kind of like look for errors before they happen, which then makes me think like, oh, am I winning at this or am
Sure.
I losing at this?
Well, I also think it can be like a byproduct of success too. Because I always think about, I don't know where I originally heard this, because I've heard it a few times, of like never be the smartest person in a room. And my mind immediately goes to like the networking dinner that
Yeah.
we went to in the first few months of our
Oh,
practice.
yeah.
It was
really nice.
incredible. It was amazing. I mean,
Mhm.
the fact that we got invited was honestly like such an honor.
Yeah.
We weren't the smartest people in the room, but that's fine.
Mhm.
But it was a crazy honor to be there, and I loved it. And like, I mean, we were separated and at different tables, which at the beginning
So scary.
I did not love, but at the end of the day, like, we made great connections.
Yeah.
But I do remember having a lot of imposter syndrome
Mhm.
at that dinner of like, I am quite literally surrounded by psychologists and psychiatrists.
Yeah.
And actually, like, they were great. Like, none of them asked how old I was. None of them asked
No.
any of those questions,
Mhm.
which I really appreciated. But at the same time, I was like, oh, this isn't a them problem. This is a me problem right now. And I was
Yeah.
like, because I made sure I was not the smartest person in a room. Because
Mhm.
I actually don't want to be at the end of the day.
Mhm.
That's just like icky feeling for me. I don't want that.
Really?
I want to learn. I
Oh,
want to
yeah,
learn. I want to
yeah.
be a
Not
sponge.
think that you know everything. Kind
Correct.
Of. Okay. Yeah.
But it was one of those where I realized that sometimes imposter syndrome is a byproduct of like pushing yourself and growing.
Yeah. Mhm.
And the dinner was great.
The dinner was great. I made so many great friends that
Yeah.
night. And there's this one girl, she was doing like memory things, and I told her like I have major memory issues, and so she was walking me through like techniques I could do and all of
love
that. And I
that.
was sitting there thinking like, wow, you're so freaking smart, and like I wish that I could do like your job, and you sound amazing. But then she turned and she asked me a question, and I answered, and she's like, oh, I never knew that, or never
Yeah.
thought about that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, you just like learned something from me?
Well, so honestly, sometimes like I'll see you with clients, just like walking them out or
Mhm.
bringing them back, and I'll notice that you like tell a parent like, oh, like we have this from
Mhm.
today, and I'll notice the child like work with the manipulative, like what is it, like a breathing